Departemen Ilmu Ekonomi Universitas Brawijaya. Kemudian Bapak Muhammad Fazli Sabri, Profesor Doktor dari University Putra Malaysia. Kemudian Profesor Dr. Lau Siong Huk ya, juga dari University Putra Malaysia. Kemudian yang belum hadir di sini Dr. Tina, mudah-mudahan segera bisa bergabung dengan kita. Kemudian moderator kita yang dari pagi sudah bekerja keras, Ibu Sylvie Hasna. Makasih Ibu. Terima kasih juga yang saya banggakan anak-anak kami. Tadi juga dibilang Pak, anak-anak kami memang ini sepantaran anak-anak saya juga. Anak maksudnya. Anak-anak kami yang mengikuti acara seminar kali ini. Juga para audiens yang menyaksikan acara ini melalui YouTube BDK Malang, baik yang di lingkungan Kementerian Keuangan maupun dari Asia Pasifik, dan mudah-mudahan dari Afrika ada, insya Allah gitu ya. Karena untuk penyelenggaraan ini kita bekerja sama juga walaupun belum resmi dengan jejaring Global Distance Learning Network atau GDLN Pak. Ya. Oke. Tadi saya menjanjikan campur-campurnya. This international seminars hold a very special significance. Today's event is a tangible manifestation of the strategic partnership between University of Brawijaya and the Ministry of Finance, Republic of Indonesia, driven through the Finance Education and Training Agency atau disebut VETA. Kami dari Finance Education and Training Agency yang kantor cabangnya di Malang. Okay, this collaboration represents a powerful synergy between academia and policymakers. We believe that addressing complex economic challenges requires a strong bridge between theoretical research and practical governance. By uniting the analytical excellence of Universitas Brawijaya with the fiscal and public administration expertise of the Ministry of Finance, we are creating a robust ecosystem capable of producing impactful data-driven solution for the nation. Today, we find ourselves navigating a highly complex and fragmented global economic landscape. The world is facing multi-layered challenges from geopolitical tension and inflationary pressure to the urgent demands of climate change. In this climate of uncertainty, relying on traditional economic models alone is no longer sufficient. We need a catalyst, and that catalyst is digital transformation. However, the rapid advancements of technology cannot happen in silos. To ensure that digital transformation truly fosters sustainable and inclusive growth, we must realize that no single institution, sector, or even nation can achieve this alone. We need strong cross-sectoral collaboration where government frameworks, economic insights, and private sector innovation move in tandem. Furthermore, we need solid cross-border partnerships. The global economy is deeply interconnected, and the challenges we face, such as digital inequality and financial inclusion, are shared regional and global responsibilities. By fostering international collaboration, particularly with our country neighborhood, sebagaimana yang dicontohkan by our esteemed speaker from Malaysia today, we can exchange best practices, align digital frameworks, and ensure that the benefits of digital economy reach everyone, from urban centers to the most remote villages. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the Faculty of Economic and Business Universitas Brawijaya and the VETA team especially our colleagues at BDK Malang, for their outstanding dedication in organizing this event. To our guests from University Putra Malaysia and University Malaya, thank you for bringing your initiative perspective to this forum. To all participants, I hope this seminar serves as a productive platform to exchange ideas and inspire a new breakthrough. Congratulations on joining this international open class. I sincerely hope that this session proves to be highly fruitful, enriching, and inspiring for everyone. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Iqbal, for the welcoming remarks. The next agenda is our honor to invite Dr. Narpal Ferry Prasetya, SAMAPP AC, Head of Department of Economics, Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Brawijaya, to deliver his welcoming remarks. To Dr. Narpal Ferry Prasetya, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, good afternoon, everyone. Our distinguished professor, our distinguished lecturer from Malaysia, Professor Muhammad Fazli Sabri, Muhammad Fazli Sabri from University of Malaya. He's appointed as a Dean of Ecology Humanities. And also Professor Dr. Lau Siong Hock from University Putra Malaysia also, and Dr. Tina from University Malaya. Welcome to our faculty. Last in Sunday, right? You come to Malang, okay. And also the Honorable Pak Iqbal Sunardi, the Head of Financial Education and Agency, Malang, the Ministry of Finance, and the moderator, Dr. Sylvie Asna Prasetyanawati, and the student, participant who joining us in person and online. And if we, on behalf of the Department of Economics, Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Brawijaya, so it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this international talk show entitled the Digital Transformation for Sustainable and Inclusive Growth. So the topic is highly relevant for Indonesia in 2026, especially if we see the data in 2025, Indonesian internet penetration reached about 80.66%, or about 227 million internet users. This is indicate that how digital technology has become the part of everyday economics and social life, like all of the students in here. And at the same time, Indonesia digital economy is projected to approach about $100 billion in gross merchandise value in 2025, which is indicate that strong growth in digital services, e-commerce, financial technology, and also the digital media. We can also see the transformation in digital payment. The Central Bank or Bank Indonesia reported that by the first semester in 2026, the QRIS had reached about 57 million users and 39.3 million merchants. So with the more than 73% of them being the SMEs. Yeah. So this show that digitalization is not only about the financial technology, but expanding opportunity for small business and local communities. However, if we see the data, the digital transformation must also be inclusive. Yeah. Despite this progress, digital access and digital capabilities are still uneven across regions and communities. Therefore, our challenges is not only to accelerate digital adoption, but also to ensure that support equality, sustainability, and share prosperity. Yeah. So today's discussion, I hope we can gain valuable insight from our distinguished speakers on how digital transformation can contribute to sustainable and inclusive growth, particularly for Indonesia and other developing countries. So to all of participants, our students, yeah, I encourage you listen actively and ask questions and also engage in the discussion. So finally, I would like to thank to our speakers, Prof. Sabri, Prof. Low, and Prof. Tina, yeah, for coming and discuss today, and also moderator, organizing committee from our Department of Economics and also from the BDK Malang, the Ministry of Finance, and everyone who has support this event. Once again, welcome, and I wish all an insightful and productive session. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much to Dr. Ferry for the warm, insightful, welcoming remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is the final presentation ceremony as a symbol of academic collaboration between the Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Brawijaya, and our partner universities from Malaysia. First, the final presentation between FEB Universitas Brawijaya and University Putra Malaysia. Second, the final presentation between FEB Universitas Brawijaya and University Malaya. We kindly invite two representatives of FEB, University Putra Malaya, and University Malaya to come forward for the final presentation. Okay, I will get the documentation in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I will get the documentation in 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. We will now proceed to a group photo session. May we kindly invite the distinguished speaker, moderator, head of department, and university representative to remain at the front for a group photo. Okay. I will get the documentation in 3, 2, 1. Once again, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the main session of today's international talk show. At this point, allow me as the master of ceremony to officially hand off the program to our moderator, Dr. Sylvie Asna, Prastianawati SA MSE. Dr. Sylvie will continue and lead the remaining agenda, including the including of our distinguished speaker, the talk show session, discussion, question and answer session, and the official closing of the event. To Dr. Sylvie Asna Prastianawati SAMSE, we warmly invite you to take over the program.
Well, thank you, MC. Good afternoon, everyone, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Finally, I'm here to call you to present. But before, thank you very much for everyone's here who attending this seminar, and also thank you very much and welcome to our beloved faculty, Dr. Tina, Dr. Fajli, and Dr. Lo. And also thank you very much for the economics department who held this very kind of the seminar today. Actually, this is my honor to be here and to be moderators these discussions. Okay, for the discussion, actually we would like to invite our third honorable speakers, Dr. Tina, please, and Dr. Lo and Dr. Fajli. Please applause dong. Yeah, big applause. Don't be sleepy. Welcome, House Malang. Nice. Nice. You love Malang, right? And how's you be? What do you think about our university? Very green, yes. But it's not that large as UM. So it's walkable actually. Thank you very much and welcome to our faculty and also departments and everyone's. Actually, we also open this seminar in YouTube and also Zoom as it's attended by various participants from Bangladesh, Nepal, Yemen, Malaysia, and also, of course, from Indonesia. And also, we would like to thanks to our partner that is Balai Diklat Keuangan is Pak Iqbal. Yes, he's supporting this seminar as well. So everyone, students, and as we know that the Indonesia right now, also the global world has the issue in digitalizations and also the economic transformations. As the transformation right now is not only about how the society, the people could operate the computer, handphone, or others technology, but also how the digitalizations will reduce the inequality. This is the big issue actually in our main session in this seminar. So how's the transformation of digitalizations, it brings the inequality to be decreased and also optimize our economic growth and also distributing the welfare. So we have the expert of financial planner, also we have expert of economics. So okay, without any further ado, maybe I would like to little bit introduce you both. Yes, so we have a long CV, but I try to make it shorter. So Professor Lau Siong Hock is a professor at the University Putra Malaysia, specializing in financial economics, development economics, and applied econometrics. And his key recognitions include being listed among the world's top 2% scientists in economics. It's very great achievement. Applause for the Dr. Low, yes. Professor Low, sorry. Yes, and also we have Dr. Tina Ranjane Thirumurthy. Is it correct? Okay. Perfect. So she is the senior lecturer at the Department of Management and Marketing, Faculty of Business and Economics, University of Malaya. And she works in tourism marketing, management, consumer behavior, medical tourism, backpacking tourism, and a backpacker. And also digital marketing, so many interests. And also we have Professor Dr. Fajli. He is the Dean of the Faculty of Human Ecology, University Putra Malaysia. He is strong expertise in consumer finance and also personal financial planning. So everyone here, if you have any problem with your money, just ask him, okay? And also he has very strong citations. He has H index in Scopus 24 and 42 in Google Scholar, and more than 100 Scopus listed documents. Very extensive, yeah. So without any further ado, I would like to invite Professor Low, yes, to present your very great insight today.
I think yeah, Samsata, and a very good afternoon. Yeah, thank you, the chair lady, yeah, and Pak Iba from the Bank Indonesia, Pak Ferry from the Department of Economic, Universitas Brawijaya, graduate student, and ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to stand here and share the topic about the macroeconomic innovation. Yeah, it's already here. And quantitative approaches for sustainable development in the digital era. So I will share some perspective on how macroeconomic is evolving, yeah, in the digital era, especially the role of innovation, active AI, quantitative approaches, and also the sustainable development. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. No, it's okay now, yeah, so all right. So, yeah, this topic is becoming increasing important because economics today are no longer driven only by traditional production factor, but also by the data and technology innovation and digital transformation. So the key message of my talk is that sustainable development increasingly depend on how effectively countries use innovation, technology, and quantitative evidence in policy making. So today, the global economy is changing very rapidly. So we are facing multiple transformations simultaneously. Yeah, AI revolution, digital economic expansion, climate change, geopolitical tension, and also the emerging transition. So the traditional macroeconomic tools alone are not often insufficient to explain the modern economic complexity. Yeah, so for example, inflation today may be influenced not only by monetary factor, but also by supply chain disruption, climate shock, digital platform, and the geopolitical conflict. So therefore, macroeconomic itself is evolving. Yeah, and the main message of this talk is very simple. Yeah, so sustainable development today require innovation, digital transformation, quantitative evidence, and also interdisciplinary approaches. Economic policy making is increasingly becoming data-driven, technology-oriented, and also the real time. So countries that successfully combine innovation, institution, and quantitative tools will likely become more resilient, yeah, and competitive in the future. So my presentation consists of 5 parts. Yeah, first, I will discuss the changing macroeconomic landscape, macroeconomic innovation, quantitative approaches, and also the modern analytical tool application for sustainable development. And the last is the challenges and future trend. So the world economy today is experiencing a major structural transformation. We observe rapid digitalization, automation, AI adoption, climate pressure, and the supply chain restructuring. For example, AI is changing the labor market. The renewable energy is changing energy system, and digital platforms are transforming consumer behavior. So therefore, policymakers must increasingly adopt macroeconomics framework to new reality. Traditional macroeconomic model often assume stable economic relationship, rational behavior, and relatively predictable structure. However, modern economy are more uncertain, more digital now, and more interconnected and more complex. Economic shock today spread much faster than before. For example, financial crisis, pandemics, and the geopolitical conflicts can immediately affect inflation rate, and also the trade, capital flow, and employment. So macroeconomic innovation refer to new policy tools, new technology, and new analytical approaches used to improve economic performance. So example include the AI forecasting, green finance, digital monetary system, and smart fiscal policy. So innovation is no longer limited to the private sector. The government and central bank are also innovate rapidly. So innovation improves productivity, competitiveness, efficiency, and resilience. The country that innovate faster often achieve stronger long-run economic growth, higher income, and better living standard. So innovation also help economies become more adaptive during crisis, and also, for example, digital technology play a critical role during the COVID-19 pandemic. Digitalization affects almost every sector of the economy. It changes production system, banking, labor market, education, and the public administration. So digital economy also changes consumer behavior, financial transaction, and the business model. So as a result, macroeconomic policy increasingly interact with digital transformation. So one major change in economics today is the data revolution. So the economics increasingly use big data, satellite data, mobile payment data, and the online search behavior. So economic analysis is becoming more real time. So we like to have the result that represent the real actual phenomena. Previously, the policymaker often waited months for official statistics. So today, digital data can provide an immediate economic signal. So quantitative approaches use econometric statistics and the computational tools to analyze economic problem. So the main objective is evidence-based policy making. Good policy should rely on data, empirical analysis, and the measurable evidence. So the traditional quantitative methods remain very important. Example include the regression analysis, panel data, and also the time series model. Yeah. So these methods help economists study inflation, economic growth, unemployment, public debt, and the financial development. So econometrics allow economists to test theory, evaluate the policy, and also identify causal relationship. For example, we can study whether financial inclusion reduce the poverty or income distribution, yeah? Whether the public debt affect economic growth or whether the institutional improve investment. So the quantitative evidence strengthen the policy credibility. Yeah, the modern economics increasingly use machine learning, AI, neural network, and the big data analysis. So economics is becoming increasingly computational. So the modern tool can identify the complex pattern, nonlinear relationship, and the hidden economic signal. AI has many applications in macroeconomics, you know that, and AI can improve our GDP forecasting, yeah, inflation prediction, labor market analysis, and also the crisis detection. So one major advantage is that AI can process very large data set very quickly, and this improve forecasting speed and the prediction accuracy. The traditional econometric model are usually theory-driven, easy to interpret, but rely on the stronger assumption. Yeah, assumption. So the machine learning is a data-driven, more flexible, and often better for the big data. So however, the machine learning model may sometimes be less interpretable, and therefore both approaches should complement each other. So AI forecasting can use online search, yeah, the transaction data, social media, and our consumer behavior. And for example, the Google Trend data may help predict the inflation, unemployment, tourism demand, and consumer confidence. So this shows how digital data increasingly support macroeconomic analysis. So fintech is transforming the financial system. Yeah, we know financial technology. So example include the digital banking, e-wallet, peer-to-peer lending, and also the mobile payment. So fintech improved the financial access, efficiency, and also the inclusion. So it's also the changes the how monetary policy transmission work. So digital financial inclusion improved access to finance, especially for the rural area population, our small medium enterprises, and also the lower income household. So benefit include the lower transaction cost, faster payment, and broader economic participation. And financial inclusion support entrepreneurship, productivity, and inclusive growth. So the green finance also play important role, support the environmentally sustainable and investment. Example include the green bond, green sukuk, ESG investment, and also the climate finance. So the objective is to support the renewable energy, low carbon growth, and also the climate resilience. The sustainable development mean meeting the present need without harming future generation. So it includes the economic sustainability, social sustainability, and also environmental sustainability. So economic growth alone is insufficient if income inequality increase, the environment have the negative impact, or institutional weaken. So macroeconomic policy directly affect the poverty, income distribution, employment, and the climate resilience. So therefore, the macroeconomic policy increasingly align with the SDG, ESG, the principle, and the sustainability framework. So policy quality matter greatly for sustainable development outcome. The strong institution also improve the governance, policy effectiveness, the rule of law, investor confidence, and also the economic resilience. So innovation alone is insufficient without strong governance or good institutional quality. So the good regulation and the good governance practice. So institution play the critical role in the long-term economy performance. The climate change is no longer only on environmental issue. It also affects the inflation, agriculture, migration, energy prices, public expenditure. So the climate risk increasingly influence our macroeconomic stability. ASEAN, the economy rapidly digitalizing. The growth area include the digital banking, fintech, e-commerce, AI application, and also the digital payment. So digital economy create new growth, opportunity, productivity, and regional integration. So Indonesia focus strongly on digital banking, halal economy, Islamic fintechs, infrastructure development, and financial inclusion. So Indonesia combine digital transformation, inclusion, and sustainable development strategy. So Malaysia, on the other hand, promote the green sukuk, Islamic finance, ESG investment, and the innovation ecosystem. So Malaysia is among the global leader in the sustainable Islamic finance. So despite the opportunity, many challenges remain. The example include the digital device, AI bias, cybersecurity risk, weak institution, and the data limitation. So technology create opportunity, but also new policy risks. So future market economy may involve AI-central banking, digital currency, climate macroeconomics, and the real-time policy analysis. So the macroeconomy is becoming increasingly interdisciplinary, digital, and technology-oriented. Yeah, so the key lesson from today talk, macroeconomy is evolving rapidly. Innovation and technology increasingly matter. Quantitative approaches improve. Policy making, sustainability require interdisciplinary thinking, and institutions remain the critical important aspect. I think with that I end my presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. So later, if you have the Q&A session, we can take a few questions from you all. Thank you so much. Yeah? All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Low. Please give your big applause.
Thank you.
Yes, so for the Professor Low presentations, actually it's highlighted how macroeconomics is rapidly evolving in response to digital transformations, including artificial intelligence and also climate change, also global uncertainty. Also, Professor Low also highlight that the technology also can create many opportunities, but also brings many challenges such as AI bias, cyber security risks, and also digital inequality, and also policy coordination issues that's including the institutional quality. Therefore, actually, the future macroeconomics policies must become more interdisciplinary, adaptive, and sustainability oriented. Thank you very much for your presentations. For the next, presenters will be presented by Dr. Tina or Professor. Okay, so please, it's your time to present your very great presentations.
Testing. Thank you very much, Dr. Sylvia, our moderator. Auzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon. Pak Iqbal from Financial Trade Agency, Ministry of Finance. Yang berbahagia Pak Dr. Ferry, Head of Department of Economics. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon. It is a true privilege to be here to deliver my topic. So, the title of my lecture or topic is Sustaining Financial Well-being. Do financial literacy, financial behavior, and financial education matter? Okay, so this is my table of content. First, I will speak about the relevance of financial well-being in today's world. Second, we will explore the evaluation of financial literacy and the impact of financial well-being. Next, I will discuss how we can empower financial well-being and financially, and I will share the way forward. So basically, now we are in the age of geopolitical crisis. I think it is very important, especially for us to be financial resilient. I think Professor Lau already mentioned about fintechs, inshallah. So we will discuss later. All right. So imagine for a moment on a scale from 1 to 10. So where 1 means not all satisfied and 10 means completely satisfied. How do you rate your financial well-being today? From 1 to 10, what is your financial well-being? 5? Anyone 10? 1, mashallah. All right. So basically, this simple assessment question is powerful, especially for us to reflect, are we confident, yeah? For tomorrow's bills, do we have a saving, especially for emergencies? And it is really important. And the next question, so let's say in one word, what does financial well-being mean to you? What financial well-being mean to you? You have more income? You have enough saving for emergencies? What does it mean? Okay. Okay, so next, I would like to highlight in terms of Bank Negara Malaysia define financial well-being is the ability of individual to meet ongoing obligation, so remain resilient against income instability. And the good thing from Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, there are 4 dimensions of financial well-being. Number 1, resilient against financial instability, control over present finances, freedom to enjoy your life without financial constraints. Do you really enjoy your life? Okay. And last but not least, in terms of achievement of financial objective. All right. So for the next slide, basically, I'm going to share with you the current state of financial well-being in Malaysia. Sorry for maybe for the coming present, inshallah, I will share some finding about Malaysia. So let's have a look in terms of the financial well-being of Malaysia. All right. So this slide basically shows that the financial literacy index shows slow progress from 56.5 in 2015 to 59.1 in 2034. And from the slide itself, we can see, especially in terms of knowledge has improved, but behavior and attitudes remain weak, number one. Okay. So the next one, so in terms of financial capability, for example here, you can see that 64% are unfamiliar with time value of money, and sad but it's true, about 1/3 do not have long-term saving goal. Especially nowadays, we are in the financial crisis. And the next slide, for example, we can see that by 2024, 1 in 4 Malaysian report running out of money, a sharp rise, just 14% in 2021. The next one, in terms of financial preparedness, survey shows a very pattern. So many Malaysians remains under prepared and without prestation. So one unexpected job loss or medical emergency can destabilize in terms of the entire household. So the next data is shown that when we ask Malaysians about retirement, this is something that really unique. In Malaysia, the mandatory retirement age is at 60. How about in Indonesia? What is the mandatory retirement age? 60? 60 or what? 58. Still young and productive. But to my understanding, if you are an academician, if you are associate professor here, the retirement age is 65. And if you are full professor, guru besar, your retirement age is at 70. Right? So based on data is shown that many Malaysians are not really prepared, especially during their retirement. Right? So this data also shown that rakyat Malaysia tidak cukup simpanan. 70% of respondents either save less than 500 per month or do not save at all. And more than half of those aged 18 and above have not started investment. Right? So this is in terms of spending habit of respondent. Investment participation in risk appetite in Malaysia still low. Right? But when it comes to risk management, especially when talk about takaful and insurance, we can see that 40% of Malaysians do not have any form of medical insurance. And 48% only have a life insurance or takaful, but 41% do not have life insurance at all. Right? This is something that really worried. And this is also data from Department of Insolvency. It's shown that from year to year, Malaysian, we have rising numbers of Malaysian declare bankruptcy due to lack of financial literacy, lack of financial behavior, the influence of digitalization, especially when it comes to fintech, Shopee, Lazada, Keranjang Kuning Keranjang Kuning atau Keranjang Kuning? Keranjang Kuning sorry ingat ke Keranjang Okay, Keranjang Kuning. Alright, so bankruptcy cases, and now I think by 2020 Malaysia will become an aged nation. So according to Department of Statistics, we are going to have 30% of Malaysian, those under the age of 60 and above. The challenge is that we are in a sandwich generation where we have to take care of our own family, but in the same time we also have to take care of our parents. Then okay, I'm skip this. So the next one in terms of financial stress, So all these issues, namely rising living of costs, bankruptcy, insufficient saving, and fraud, are fueling escalating financial stress among Malaysia. So then, what is financial well-being and why does it matter? Okay, so when we discuss about financial well-being, it's nothing about how much. It's not about wealthy, but the most important thing is that how we control our current finances, resilient to cope with uncertainties, the ability to achieve future goals. That's the most important thing, right? And this is the framework that we can see from the slide, that how financial literacy interact with other financial behavior and other influences, which translate into our financial well-being. Okay, so this is the definition of financial literacy. The financial literacy does not really involve knowledge. It consists of knowledge. It consists of behavior as well as attitude, as well as skill. Right. So basically, this is the framework: financial literacy and financial well-being. So how it interacts with each other, and all right, so financial literacy and practice from theory to behavior. Maybe I move toward reducing financial stress. Yeah. So financial stress, based on study, also plays a vital role. And financial stress is strong predictor of overall well-being. And today, financial stress is also moderated by digital factor. We mentioned about fintech. We mentioned about digitalization. So apps, online tool, and even social media have a very huge impact toward our financial behavior and financial well-being. Then I move to the next slide, yeah, contribution to economic growth. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think financial literacy, financial behavior, and financial education are not just individual concern of the national significance. So the most important thing is that when individuals are financially literate and behave responsibly, they contribute to saving, investment, and consumption pattern that strengthen our economic growth. Yeah. The slide is about financial literacy as catalyst for sustainable economic development. Nowadays, we talk about SDG, we talk about environmental, social, and governance. So we believe that financial literacy is also a catalyst for sustainable economic development, economic growth. When an individual are financially informed, they participate more actively in the economy. And financial literacy also enable, especially in terms of entrepreneurship. We talk about innovation, helping small businesses, and strengthening micro enterprise in the informal sector. So this is the evaluation of financial literacy research. I'll skip this. I would like to share more about this, yeah, digital financial services and their role in financial well-being. So let's now turn to digital financial services, the new frontier of financial well-being. Digital platform enhance accessibility and inclusion, especially for vulnerable population, such as elderly, such as single parent, yeah, people from rural area. Then from the study is shown that digital tool can strengthen confidence and self-control, offering personalized solution and approaches that guide people toward better behavior. All right. So this is about the role of digital finance, fintech, so on and so forth. All right. I skip this. I go to the next slide. The shift from financial knowledge to behavioral change. So now we are witnessing paradigm shift from knowledge to behavior. Because of what? Because there are also, in terms of the influence of emotion and biasness, yeah, influence our financial choices. The next about understanding of financial behavior. So as I mentioned earlier, when we discuss about financial well-being, is not just linked to the income, but also more to health, security, and resilience. Financial well-being also have intergenerational and gender implication. Okay, I skip this. I still have more time, Dr. Sylvie. What? Only 2 minutes more? Okay, 2 minutes more. And then maybe I go to next slide. Yeah, sorry. All right. So this is more like fintech. Yeah. So as we know that we cannot talk about personal or financial behavior today without addressing the power tool of financial fintech or digital tool. So they bring convenient and access. I think already mentioned by Prof. Lau. This is really important. Then I move toward this. All right, why financial education matters? Yeah, because number one, in terms of resilience, especially during these economic uncertainties. So it is also foundation of financial decision making, help us make a wise decision making, prudent, also empowered in terms of confidence. So I skip this, I go to 1 more minute, yeah. All right. So maybe, okay, so I will touch a little bit in terms of policy integration and government initiative. Yeah. So let me highlight the importance of policy integration and government initiative, especially in sustaining financial well-being. So policies maker especially must protect people from too much debt, predatory loan and scam. And the employer also have a very significant role. So employers will help their staff manage money more effectively, basically can reduce stress and improve productivity at the workplace. When it comes to digital tool and financial inclusion, digitalization has opened new doors for financial inclusion, ensuring that more people can access financial system and financial services. This is what we call it financial inclusion. All right. Then this is final talk, call to action. Yeah. So financial well-being basically is not just a destination but a journey. So we must continue adapting to contemporary financial challenges. Number one. Second, whether it's from lower income group or middle income families or the affluent, everyone faces financial decision. We need to blend education and behavior. Fourth, yeah. So government, educators should play a concerted effort. And last but not least, the transformation must come from the school or at home. So I think with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Professor Fajli. Yes, so as already mentioned, that the financial literacy is a catalyst for the economic development. Also, as our students, like you all, is Z generations, as is highly needed to have a financial literacy, and as the financial literacy itself will protect you for the investment risk, and also to protect your wealth. And financial inclusion also is our financial challenge in Indonesia, as we do yet distribute the access for the financial, like the bank account ownership, at least in the village. Also the e-banking, yes, rural area. We have the good internet, but they don't able to operate the m-banking, e-banking. Also, we have, like Indonesia, we have GoPay, Shopee Pay, yes, OVO. So it's very easy for the Z generation and my generations, actually millennial generations, to do the transactions and also to manage our wealth. But for the rural area people, it's very difficult because they don't have any access to improve their financial literacy. And also, maybe some of research from Indonesia also inform us that rural people, they mostly got scammed. Yes, it's because of the financial literacy skill. So what we need is distributing the financial access and also making social decisions and financial inclusions. Thank you very much for your highlight. Very good and very perfect. So it's not last. It's not last. You can continue as you want. So Dr. Tina, it's your time, please.
A very good afternoon to Dr. Sylvie, who's the moderator, Pak Ferry, Pak Iqbal, ladies and gentlemen, and all the students here. Should I say selamat siang or should I say selamat pagi sila bangun? I know it's difficult to attend lecture in the afternoon, so just bear with me. Mine is basically on tourism, lighter subject than economic and financial aspect. All right, so can I have the slide, is it? Okay. So what I'm going to talk about today is not a lecture. I'm just going to share a bit about destination branding and also sustainable tourism experience. All right. So do you guys like to travel? Suka travel? Yeah. Usually when I ask students, Suka, do you want to travel? They always like, some of them will say no. I said, why? No money. Yeah. So assuming all of you all are rich today, yeah? Okay, you have the money. So would you like to travel? Yes. So we do travel for various reasons, all right? It could be because, okay, why do you guys like to travel? Really stressed. Okay, what else? The students? Assuming you have money now, yeah? So yeah, not say no money, no talk. Yeah, this is a financial advisor, okay? Yeah, so we do travel for various reasons, all right? One to really stress, for example, escapism. You want to escape from your normal routine. You want to relax yourself. You want to learn about culture, people, the destinations. Yeah, there's so many things that you can actually learn through tourism, all right? So moving forward here. Okay, I think you can't see. The question there is actually, which country is beautiful? Indonesia or Malaysia? Okay, I cannot say Malaysia here, yeah? You're going to hit me now, right? Okay, cool. I'll take it. Okay, Indonesia. So we're talking about topic here is about destination branding, right? So, of course, this is just a rhetoric question here, which country is more beautiful, all right? But eventually, different country has different resources. We have different things that we offer. Sometimes it's overlapping, but eventually, what makes stand out would be not just having the resources in the first place, but also to market it. Marketing is important. Do you guys agree? Yeah, I strongly believe that, Singapore is a one classic example. When it comes to resources, they are not as rich as Indonesia and Malaysia. But why they are well known? Because they are good in marketing. They are very good in marketing their destination. So usually when I travel, they ask me where am I from. The first guess usually will be I'm from India. Then I'll be like, no, I'm a Malaysian. And then they'll be like, I don't know where's Malaysia. So I have to say, do you know where's Singapore? They say, yes. Do you know where's Thailand? They'll be like, yes. I said, this is Thailand, this is Singapore, and we are here in the middle. Which means that is lacking in terms of destination branding, actually. All right? So that's the main focus what we're going to talk about today. And in terms of tagline, all right, so Malaysia's tagline is Malaysia Truly Asia, and for Indonesia, it's actually Wonderful Indonesia. Are you guys aware of this? Yes, yeah? Please make sure you know this, yeah? Each and every one of you are the brand ambassador of your country. Every time you are inside the country, you step outside of your country, you're supposed to be talking and promoting your country, actually. All right? So regardless whether you're a student, lecturer, and whoever you are, you're supposed to be the brand ambassador of your country, regardless. All right? Okay, moving on here, just a couple of stuff here about how different country actually promotes themselves. All right? When it comes to marketing, what are the taglines used? Like Taiwan is actually Wave of Wonder. All right? And then you have the, I can't quite see the other one. Hold on here. One is Pearl of Africa. All right? Uganda is known as Pearl of Africa. And then the other one is Great Britain, home of amazing moments, actually. All right? So if you are looking into destination marketing, yeah, tagline is actually very important. Okay? So let me tell you, I'll give you one, the name of a country. You tell me what comes to your mind, just one word. Can we do that? Okay, Japan. One word. Japan. Fuji. What else? Sakura. Okay, what else? Osaka. Okay. Korea. South Korea. K-pop. I thought you were going to say oppa, yeah? K-pop, not too bad. Along the same line, actually. All right? So this is how you brand the country. So sometimes not necessarily has to be the tourism destination base. It could be the people. Yeah, it could be, in this case, the tourism, music industry is part under the big umbrella of tourism, actually. All right? Like music tourism, for example. And then moving on, I'd like to touch a bit on sustainable tourism. Yes, they were talking about sustainability. It's important regardless of the industry. Whether you're talking about economics, for example, or you're talking about tourism, sustainability is essential. So basically, in terms of tourism, you have three: economics, and then you have the social, cultural, and environmental. So every time we do something, you want to look at what are the positive aspect of economics. So in Malaysia, tourism is the second largest GDP contribution. All right. How about Singapore? How about Indonesia? Is tourism important for you? Yes. Why do you think it's important? Does it generate income? Yes? Yeah, the country is earning money because tourists comes in and spend money. All right? And then you're talking about social cultural here. What will be the impact? Do you think the tourists learn about the local culture? Do you think they try the local food? They know the local tradition? Yes. But do you guys learn about the tourists also? No, you couldn't be bothered. You look at on the road, they are going by, oh, okay, tourists, and you just go by. It depends, all right? For example, if you stay in a homestay, all right, you're talking about cultural exchange. So not only the tourists learn about the local culture, but the locals themselves also learn about the tourists, actually. All right, so this is where you're talking about the positive. Of course, you can pick up the negative stuff, So in terms like drugs, for example, open relationship and things like that, which usually initiated from the Western, and then how does it actually influence and dilute our, Eastern culture? That's another negative aspect. And then last but not least, you have the environmental impact. So what are the causes that deteriorate or degrade the environmental impact, for example? Yeah, so this is basically about sustainable tourism. And then moving forward, how do we do the destination branding here? Sometimes you have the big taglines, all right, or the big names here. Like some places are recognized by UNESCO, all right, so that gives a way for people, to kind of visit those places because they think it's important. It's recognized by UNESCO, so we must visit when you're in the country, for instance, all right? Okay, just a couple of, World Heritage sites that we have in Malaysia. One is Mulu National Park, all right? Should I pause for a while for the azan? Or? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm welcome back. Yeah, I'm just going to continue. All right, so with regards to the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, why this is important, as I mentioned earlier, when it's actually recognized by UNESCO, then you have increase in the number of tourists. People tend to visit the sites more, all right? So example here, you have the Mulu Caves in Sarawak, you have Lenggong Valley in Perak, and you also have the Mount Kinabalu in Sabah. These are the three different places in different parts of Malaysia, actually, all right? Moving on here, this is Malacca, all right? Again, this is World Heritage Site as well. It's a historical city, we call it, all right? So what happens is that many Malaysians like to travel to this city, not so much to learn about the history of it, all right, because usually the excursion is done during the school days, but people go to eat, all right? I'm sure Prof. Lau and Prof. Fadzli here been many times in their life to Malacca. Do you guys travel to eat? Yes? Do you travel inside Malang or do you go outside of Malang? Outside of Malang. You don't mind standing in the queue for a few hours to get the food? Yeah, all of us are the same, yeah? All right, so we do sacrifice our time, money to eat nice food, all right? So that happens in Malacca. So usually the crowd is both the domestic tourists, the Malaysians themselves, and also the international tourists. So people come in, you know, usually the domestic goes in to eat. That's the main stuff, all right? But the international tourists come in, learn about the city, the historical events and stuff, and then they go eating, all right? They go to explore different gastronomic experience, you call it. But what happens is that that actually causes a lot of congestion, all right? This is another one, is in Penang, also a World Heritage Site, actually, all right? This is in the northern side of Malaysia, part of the Peninsula Malaysia, actually. Yes, slightly different from Malacca, but they're also known for food, actually. So if you talk about food, usually the main two states, the popular ones, yeah, would be Penang and also Malacca. Have you guys been to Malaysia? Have you guys been to Malaysia? How many of you guys have been to Malaysia? Now no one wants to admit? Okay, cool. What have you tried? What do you like? What food do you like in Malaysia? Nasi lemak. Okay. Would you recommend that to the rest of your friends? Yes? Okay, cool. Okay, so now, when you talk about Malacca and Penang, the problem that they have is too many people visiting, the traffic is a lot, it causes congestion, all right? And then what happens is that the owner of the building increased the price of the rental, all right? So those who've been operating traditional businesses, selling traditional food, for example, right? They can't survive. So what happens is that they eventually have to evacuate and give way to the new businesses, for example, the young ones who comes in selling Korean food, Japanese food, and things like that. All right, because UNESCO sites, you can't simply just renovate and change the whole place. Yeah, there's some regulations to it. But the problem here is a lot of locals are actually suffering because of this. So is tourism good for income? Yes, it is, but not over tourism. Yeah, you're talking about sustainability eventually. So similarly, this is another site. Have you been to Batu Caves? Since you've been to Malaysia, have you been to this place? Do you like it? No. Why? Because you have to climb 247 steps? So hot. Okay, if you're from Malang, I have some friends here which I met, like Dinda, for example. I think she's from Batu. Which is colder, Batu or Malang? Batu. Don't ever put Kuala Lumpur along the line, yeah? Kuala Lumpur is really hot. If you want to put it on the X spectrum, Kuala Lumpur is going to be the other hand, actually. So this is one of the sites that people come in as tourist attraction, all right? So how do you talk about branding here is that, yes, it's a destination for tourists to come and visit. It's cultural attraction. It's also a religious attraction. It means a lot for the Hindus in Malaysia, all right? So they have a festival called Thaipusam, which is an annual event where people go and pray. So it's a temple that we go and pray, actually, which is also open up to the public and also the tourists to visit. All right, so in terms of the branding of this destination, it's just not one. You're talking about cultural, religion, nature, and volunteer tourism. So you can actually brand this place as all of these three or four components, not solely limited to one. That's come to tourism, all right? And then moving on, this is how the cave, that's a limestone cave, is about 400 plus years. So when you climb up the staircase, this is where you'll end up with all the limestones, actually. That's the view. All right, and this is the Thaipusam event I was talking about. All right, people carry milk pot. Yeah, usually what they do is that they pray, they ask for something, and then this is the repayment time to the god saying, thank you so much for fulfilling my wishes. And this is Kavadi. So if you happen to visit Malaysia during Thaipusam, I would encourage you to go Batu Cave because this could be a cultural, slightly different experience for you. All right. You do have the Indonesian Hindus, am I right? Yeah, so I'm not sure whether they do celebrate this or not. If they don't, then I think the nearest for you to come over would be Malaysia to observe this. And the next one here, there's another place called Perlis, which is also in the northern state. This is my favorite spot, actually. I try to go every once in a year. Yeah, this is called Wang Kalian View Spot. Nothing fancy about it, all right? But you go up, that's the view that you can actually see, all right? And then if you go during monsoon season, all right, during like October, November, December, when it rains heavily, you can actually see the blanket of cloud. I don't know whether you can see this. Can you see the white color? Yeah, that's the blanket of clouds. It's all clouds, all right? You really have a very good view of it. You can just park the car, walk 2 minutes, you reach the place. It's not too far. But unfortunately, what happened recently is that they started having stalls behind. Okay, not only it ruins the whole environment and this place, all right, how it looks like, but eventually what happens is that when people usually go to watch sunrise at 6:30 to 7 in the morning. The stalls are closed, no one's open anything over there. But the problem here is that the flies, all the foods they have cooked and prepared the day before, it's smelly. So it doesn't really have an unpleasant experience while you're there. All right, so when you're talking about, yes, you have the location, you brand it very well, you market it very well, but you don't maintain it, so it affects the tourist experience eventually, yeah? And then moving on, this is from Thailand. Have you guys been to Thailand? Okay, cool. I like she's the only sole representer in this class, in this lecture hall that have traveled, all right? So if you look at the picture there, this is actually Maya Island, if I'm not mistaken, yeah? So they will bring you to a place called Monkey Island. All right, so there's the pit stop. I'm sure you can see all those boats over there, all right? The problem here is when one boat stops, maybe the monkey might come out and, show, hello, hi, I'm here. But when there's 100 boats or 50 boats stop, do you think all the monkeys are going to come out? No, you're actually freaking them out. Instead of coming out, they run away to go inside the cave instead of them coming out, actually. So when I was there, we couldn't see not even a single monkey, actually. Not to say I can't see monkey in Malaysia. In UM, we have tons of monkeys if you were to go around in our campus. But it was sad, actually. We could not see anything, all right? So that's, again, in terms of how do you control the crowd, over tourism. And again, it's the same beach. It is Maya Beach, actually. And what happens is that if you could see on the second photo on my right, you have a lot of boats, yeah? And you have too many people. And what happens is that, just say, these are the people, and this is the beach, and you have all the boats. If you're standing here, you literally see the crowd of people and the boats. You don't enjoy the view of the sea at all. It's been blocked. So then, of you parking those boats, you are ruining the scenery. And then, of course, of the petrol and the emission of it into the sea and affects the marine lives as well. All right, that's something you have to consider. And then this is in Sri Lanka. We call this Sigiriya. All right, and yeah, it just looks, does it look very normal to you? If I ask you, would you like to travel to this place, would you guys go? Why not? That's good. Some people are, oh, it's just a big rock there. What am I going to do, right? It could be that as well. It depends. So for you to go up there, you have to climb the staircase. All right? It's inbuilt within the stone, the rock, actually. And what happens is that this is not too crowded. When it's crowded, people just stay stagnant for a few hours. So yes, it's a rock, but you have to think about the sustainability. You want it to be there for another 1,000 years, not just for 100 years for us to go, and then ruin it up, actually. So you're talking about, again, the sustainability, how do you control the crowd? I'm sure you guys know this place. Do you guys watch Hindi movies? Bollywood movies? Please don't go and dance with Hindi songs in front of Taj Mahal, yeah? Okay, so this is one of the 8 wonders of the world, okay? If you go in, they have 2 lines, actually. One for the local and one for the tourists. The tourists, of course, you pay a lot more, so you move faster, all right? So this is an example how, normally this is how it works in a lot of tourism places or tourist attractions, for example. It's cheaper for the locals and it's expensive for the international tourists, actually. All right, so this was good. We didn't have to queue. I think if I were a local, probably I would have queued 4 or 5 hours. This one I went in like not even less than 45 minutes, actually. All right. And then this is, again, one state called Perak, where Prof. Fadli is from, Lenggong, all right? This is Kuala Kangsar, another place in Perak. Okay, so Perak here usually is one state. People usually go to Ipoh, all right? So that would be, I think maybe I can show you I should have the map here, yeah. Can you see Perak, guys? Yeah? Yeah, I don't know why. I can't use the, okay, here, that's good. Okay, this is Perak, okay? So usually people from Kuala Lumpur will go to Penang. Just now remember I told you the World Heritage Site? So Perak here would be a pit stop. They just go to eat breakfast, to eat lunch, and then they go to Penang and stay. Oh, should I stop? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so you have over there. So the problem here is that the Perak government are finding ways to increase the number of stays in Perak. So the people stay longer and spend more time in Perak. So eventually what happens is that, so they are also actually promoting a place called Kuala Kangsar, about 45 minutes away from Ipoh, if I'm mistaken. I think, 45 minutes. So you have this masjid here, all right? And then you also have the, is it on slide mode? Yeah, is it on slide mode? It is it? I don't think it's on slide mode. Yeah, okay. So that one here is a Istana, yeah, a royal museum actually, all right? So I think it's high time not only to promote the main thing that people come to, but also other places. Like I'm in Malang, both of them are going back tomorrow. I'm planning to stay till Sunday. So I wanted to go visit Mount Bromo. Would you recommend? Yes. Other than where can I go other than that? Batu? Yeah. So when I ask people, tell me where should I be going, first is Mount Bromo, second is Batu. Nobody talks about anything else actually. Right? So this is the problem that we have in Perak. People always go to Penang, but they don't talk about other places where they already have some attractions actually. So you have to move from the main conventional tourism spot to other places as well to retain or to maintain sustainability. How long do I have? Okay. This is in Vietnam. Can you guys see this? Oh, over here, is it? Okay, here. This is Vietnam. This is, normally when you talk about Vietnam people, where do people go actually? Vietnam, where usually people go? Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh. This is standard one. Nobody goes to the north. People go, but very less. Not the touristic ones, but they don't go to the north of Vietnam. So this is where you have this place called Ha Giang, all right? Yen Minh, Dong Vang, and Mio Wak Loop is a three place that you actually go through. And this is how the landscape looks like. It's mountainous actually, all right? People end up going to the main cities, but not to these places, which is really sad because they don't enjoy the nature offered by the country. And if you look at the other picture, on the other side over there, all right? This is a traditional local tribe community in Mio Wak, all right? What is nice is that when you go there, I went there to see and observe how they are. Eventually, I became the walking exhibition when I was there because my skin color is different. So everybody started looking at me because I look different from the rest of them actually, all right? So I was just making fun that I was supposed to be the tourist. Now, I became the exhibition in this place when I decided to visit this place, yeah? So what happens is that if you look at the picture just now, they don't change much. They maintain and do things as they used to. This is a local market, all right, if you could see. And I think everybody carries a basket, yeah? And whatever that they buy, they put in the basket. And here, if you see, these are the animals, yeah? If you want to buy beef, you go to the wet market and you get the beef. Do you buy the cow? No. Here they buy the cow. You know, there's one picture, there's one guy who'll be dragging the cow actually going back home. They buy the pig, not the pork actually. All right, so here you actually get to see the actual cultural identity, yeah? Yeah, this is what I was talking about actually. Can I know why is it together? Yeah? It's supposed to be 1-1, so I couldn't see the picture. Okay, this is the one. As I told you, this guy is dragging the cow. All right, this one they're buying the duck on the other hand. All right, this one they're buying the duck, okay? And then this is a lady with a local headgear, and this is their local market. So it's very authentic, no expensive building, resorts, nothing. You just get to see what's offered there, all right? And then the next one here, this is Bagan, the one with the hot air balloon. This is in Myanmar, okay? So it's actually very beautiful, yeah? You can actually watch, there's so many, about I think 1,200 small temples around still, yeah? Which you can't visit all, but some you can. And the sad thing is, people climb up the building, all right, to watch the hot air balloons. Do you think it's right to do? Can you climb up an whole temple just to get a better view? No, it's wrong. All right, but unfortunately, nobody says anything. People just climb up, if you could see. This is really wrong, yeah? So this is the problem here. When it comes to tourism, it has to be controlled. So that eventually you're talking about sustainability of the building itself so that you can just preserve it, all right? The next up would be Ukraine, all right? So Ukraine has a lot of problem, and you see they have actually tried rebranding it as Ukraine now, all right? How Ukraine has changed and what Ukraine is it now, or what is it representing at the moment. It's what has been promoted actually. Okay, and then because of first they started with Ukraine now in 2018, and recently, you know, they had war with Russia, so their campaign has changed from Ukraine now to we are here, to say that, hey, we are still here, please come and visit us, despite the war. So this is how you do the rebranding exercise in terms of destination. And the next up would be Colombia. It's the same, yeah, you talk about mafia, fights, criminal cases and stuff, you talk about Colombia. So they also have started rebranding the place actually, all right? Like, I'm from Selangor, state of Selangor, I'm from Klang, all right? Klang has a reputation that the criminal cases is actually very high. People say it's a Colombia of Asia, Klang. And I'm still alive, yeah? I'm there about 30 plus years. Yes, you do have some incidents, but the way people perceive Klang as being a dangerous place, all right? So again, I think the Municipal Council of Klang needs to rebrand like what Colombia is actually doing. And then next up here would be how different country has brand themselves. First you have France, all right? Do you guys agree? Do you think of romance and love, fashion when it comes to France? Yes, okay. And then you have Japan, cultural heritage, tea ceremony, advanced technology. Do you guys agree? Okay. And then you have Switzerland, natural scenery, luxury watch, chocolate. Yes. Okay, then you have Thailand, hospitality and friendliness. Do you agree? Who do you think is more friendly, Malaysian, the Thais, or the Indonesians? If you go to Thailand, they'll say their Thais are better than the rest of us, right? So it depends, all right? But they are known for people with high level of hospitality, actually, all right? And yeah, thank you. Yep, and then, yeah, I think this is clear, but it's too late. It's the second last slide. And also of the beaches and the culture, actually, the gastronomic experience. So now, if you want to rebrand Indonesia, if I put an Indonesian flag here, what would be the items that you would like to include to brand Indonesia? You guys are all Indonesians, right? You have traveled. So give me 3 points. What are you going to use it as branding Indonesia now? Culture? Culture, okay, number one then. Food? One last one. Nature. So food, culture, and nature. Do you guys all agree? Okay, so start promoting Indonesia, yeah? Yes, okay, can I have the last slide? I think it's... Okay, that's it for me. Yeah, thank you so much. I had to pause because of the azan just now. And 2026 is a Visit Malaysia campaign, all right? So kindly visit Malaysia. I do have a video, but I think it's going to be long for me to play, but you can watch it on YouTube as well. You can just type Visit Malaysia 2026 song. Yeah, thank you so much. That's it for me. Bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tina, for the presentations. So it's like we are traveling during the presentations. We are traveling to Vietnam, to Thailand, to Malaysia. And thank you so much for your presentation. And as I got the highlight from the Dr. Tina presentation regarding the tourism and sustainability on how we can maintain our resources. That is Indonesia. We have a beach, we have mountain, we have many things, resources, and we compare with the Singapore. Singapore has nothing, but the Singapore has a good and strong brand image. So this is your time, guys, as a Z generation, as the celebgram influencers. If you are doing the influencer right now, you can campaign regarding the Indonesians, resources, tourism, cultural. So in Bromo, Dr. Tina, if you come there tomorrow, right, you can see our locals there. We call it as the Suku Tengger. Suku Tengger is the oldest Hindus peoples. So yes, if you join the travel, you can ask your travel to visit the suku Tengger. So they have like many cultural habits and also many interesting things that they doing in their daily life, and that's the point that I would like to highlight in this seminar. That's the diversity of our culture is also our resource in tourism, and we need to maintain and we need to proud to be Indonesians and part of the Asia. Thank you so much for your presentation. So now is a session for the question and answers. So please, everybody, everyone, students, if you want to deliver the questions or you want to deliver your feedback, maybe I can give you one student, and one student. Yes, please, the white one, please. And mention your name and please deliver a short questions. Maybe Pak Munir, you can help to give a microphone. Please mention your name and your department, and please deliver a short questions.
Thank you for the opportunity. Hello, my name is Gail. First of all, I want to thank Professor Lau Siong Hook, Professor Muhammad Fazli, and Dr. Tina for the great presentation. I have two questions for Professor Muhammad Fazli and Dr. Tina. First question for Professor Muhammad Fazli. The lack of financial literacy has caused a lot of troubles for countless people, even to the point of driving them to bankruptcy. The question is, how do we improve our people's financial literacy? Here in Brawijaya, we have a program called KKN, where we help the locals improve their lives. And my program is improving their financial literacy. May I ask your advice for the most efficient way to improve the locals' financial literacy? Not some seminars that the locals will forget in short time, but something that they will remember for the rest of their life. Second question is for Dr. Tina. Indonesia earnings from tourism are enormous, around 4 to 5% of its GDP, not only benefiting the national economy, but also helping the locals. But we have a massive problem here. When you mention Indonesia to foreigners, they always mention Bali. You can clearly see something wrong here because Bali is so centralized. I mean, everyone knows Bali, but not the other places. And my question is, how can we, as a college student, help promote the tourism in Indonesia and make it eye-catching to the international eye? Thank you.
Okay, Gio, can we move to the second questions? So I will collect the questions and you can answer directly. Yes, that one. Yes, and the blue one. Oh, okay. No worries. I made the note. Yes. Okay, please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Dila and I'm from Department of Economics. Okay, first of all, thank you for the material in this session. Okay, maybe in this question for Dr. Muhammad Fazli or Dr. Lau Siong Hook. Okay, I have one question for vintage in this area. Nowadays, financial technology makes paying and buying things easier and faster, yeah. But because everything is so easy, people may spend money without thinking carefully. Do you think financial innovation could make people less financially strong in the long term, or financially too strong in the long term?
You can deliver in Indonesia your questions.
Mungkin dalam jangka waktu yang lama sebenarnya kayak digital financial innovation could make people less financially strong in the long term. Jadi apakah digital financial dalam waktu yang panjang itu sebenarnya bisa membuat financial kita juga sedikit terganggu karena beberapa digital financial itu tuh buat kita juga impulsive buying, terus impulsive for kita menjadi banyak beli barang-barang yang sebenarnya kita juga tidak membutuhkan barang tersebut. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dila. It's the question is for Professor Fazli and Professor Lau.
Yes, maybe for the
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Any other questions, please? Yeah. Kevin, I remember your name. Yes, Kevin, you can come up. Come. He is my last year student. Come here. The microphone over there. Thank you, Pak.
Good afternoon, Dr. Tina, Professor Sabri, and Professor Lau, and to everyone in this room. I introduce myself. My name is Kevin. I'm a student majoring from the Department of Economics. I'd like to ask Professor Sabri about financial well-being. As we know that currently the global economy is uncertain with issues such as the Middle East conflict and the rising production costs and even rising of exchange rate. And if I remember correctly, today to exchange for $1, Indonesia has to exchange for around 17,700 rupiah. And because of this, many people in the world, they choose to buy or saving gold as a safe havens. But I have a case which is just example. Just as there's a man who already buy a gold, and 1 month later he has to take funds from the gold that he just bought to pay his son's school fees. So if this person buys gold and then he uses the funds as an emergency funds, is this considered as a good financial well-being, considering that gold is a long-term investment?
Okay, thank you, Kevin, for the questions. So we have the question from Geo and also Dila and also Kevin. From the Geo, the question is delivered to Professor Fazli on how to improve the financial literacy.
Right, thank you very much, Gail. A very good question. 10 mark for you. So, number one, we must remember that I, as mentioned in my presentation, that financial literacy is a lifelong learning education, regardless of program, regardless of ethnicity, income group, whatsoever, right? So, number one, the problem with our, doesn't matter in Malaysia or Indonesia, even though we have so many financial education, the problem is majority only one-off program. So, in order for us to strengthen our knowledge, attitude and skill, we need to have, number one, continuous effort, number one. Second, it is also a concerted effort, so meaning that each and everybody from the local community, from the policy makers, we need to have this kind of awareness program from time to time. And as we know nowadays, we talk about financial digitalization, so we have so many like saving investment product in the marketplace, sometimes make people confused, being scammed. And I do believe that the earlier the better. I think Dr. Sivil already mentioned about the financial socialization. I think whatever it is also good to start from home, from the early age, number one. Okay, so then one of my friend mentioned about fintech innovation, right? So to me, there is nothing wrong with fintech because it is just an app tool to head up to make it our spending more easier. But I would like to say that we as a consumer, we should be resilient. We the one who determine whether it is necessary or not. Which one is prioritized? right? So meaning that we need to empower ourselves, become a prudent consumer, especially in nowadays situation. So many challenges. We talk about the rising cost of living. Early in this today, I spoke to our class about poverty. So meaning that we must equip with ourselves. And then last but not least about goal, right? So I think if you ask me which one it should come first, the first thing that we must remember, especially in nowadays situation, that we must have our saving for emergencies. That should be number one. Goal should be number two. If he or she supposedly use that her money, for example, to pay for education fees, but use it to buy a gold, which is not right, right? So it is true. We can see from, I think during the COVID-19, for example, I still remember during COVID-19, 1 gram gold in Malaysian ringgit is like 240 ringgit. I can't remember how much in IDR. But nowadays, as of today, 1 gram gold is equal to 647 ringgit. And according to the expert, by end of this year, 1 gram mass is equal to 750 ringgit. In general, on average, about 20% increment from year to year. But I think as a student, we must look at what is our priorities. I think number one should give priorities to our study, right? And then think about saving for emergency. Maybe if you have extra money, for example, then you can think about gold. But don't be too greedy, okay? Because out there are so many scammers over there, where they can give you maybe by invest in this product, for example, this gold you can earn like 2% in a month, and annual you can get like 24%. We must be very, very careful because there are a lot of scammers over there. So I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Fazli. And let's move to Professor Loh. Oh, okay, Dr. Tina, please. So, do you remember the questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, yeah, I have short-term memory power. Every time I go to my class the first week, introduce yourself. They'll introduce, but I can't even remember a single name. So that's normal, okay? Yeah. So coming back to answer your question just now, all right, what can the students do to promote other places, in Indonesia, because the concentration is very much on Bali, all right? Yes, Bali is too touristic. If you see, there are already reports or also, news saying that over-tourism is overcrowded. People are avoiding. It's too expensive, all right? So now, as a student, what you could do would be, you guys can generally travel to different destinations, actually. The off-beaten tracks, not the conventional mass tourists visiting, ticking the boxes. Like if you come to Malaysia, everybody will say, oh, KLCC will be the first one. You check the box, right? So the same thing comes to Indonesia, Bali would be first box, right? You don't want that, actually. So you guys can kickstart by traveling to the off-beaten tracks, for example, all right? And that's where you use your social media. It's a very powerful tool. All right, so then you can start promoting those places. You don't need to go very far. You can just start from your backyard. Depending on which city are you from, which village are you from, or which provinces are you from, you can just kickstart from there. You don't have to go something big necessarily. It's not important. All right, and second one would be, this is where the education, the lecturers comes in. Like I personally teach tourism and hospitality marketing. So I do actually write to the officers from the Ministry of Tourism and ask, okay, I have students doing assignment. So what is the area that is of your concern at this point of time? Like now, my students are working on niche tourism products in Malaysia, for example. So then they have to identify how does this Middle Eastern crisis is actually affecting the tourist arrival, and what can the local council do? So if you are visiting some small places, you can also talk to the local councils, like municipal councils, state tourism board, or province tourism board, for example. Work along together with them to promote those places. I think that will be a first thing to kickstart. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Tina. Let's move to Professor Loh, please. Maybe you have any feedback regarding the fintech, because you focus on macroeconomics. Okay, thank you so much. So we have another questions from YouTube and Zoom questions. Okay, okay. How financial well-being data are gathered? It's like a research method. Maybe Professor Low, you may answer.
Very interesting question. The financial well-being. Basically, I think there is one established instrument by OECD to come out the financial well-being measurement. I think they have like 10 items to measure the financial well-being, and basically they are using primary data instead of secondary data, meaning that we are giving questionnaires either online or offline to get respondent feedback about what are current status of their financial well-being. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's better if you can take the data from the primary data, not secondary.
Basically from the primary data.
Okay, through questionnaires or a deep interview, maybe?
It depends, but majority OECD, for example, they are using like primary data. But it depends on the objective of a study. If you wanted to know more, maybe focus group discussion, in-depth interview is good. But if you just want to have like the percentage and whatsoever, maybe we can go like for quantitative instead of qualitative study. Yeah.
Quantitative.
It depends on the objective of your study.
Yeah. Thank you very much. For the next questions from that one from YouTube. How to measure our tourism branding? Is it effective to support economic growth? It's very hard.
Okay, thanks to the person who actually asked the question. I think probably I can answer the first part. Second part, I should pass it to the professors here talking about economic growth per se, because I think usually you talk about the overall contribution of the tourism industry to the economic growth of the country. It could be in terms of GDP, tourist arrival, tourist receipt, how much they come and spend in the country. But if you talk about effectiveness of the branding of a destination, then it's a very micro scale. You're talking about GDP, growth, economy, that's macro. All right. So if you want to kickstart off just say this, like what he asked just now. If you just say, for example, let's promote Malang, for instance. Let's exercise in a branding activity, and then you talk about how much money do you invest. What are the platforms do you use to promote Malang, for example? All right. And then you talk about the number of arrivals. Okay. Of course, when you come to the airport, you have to visit the white card. I mean, you have to fill up the white card, right? What is the purpose? Where do you visit? You can add that, and you can actually measure from that. But if you're talking about economic impact of tourists coming to Malang's economic, then that would be a bit difficult to measure. Usually we macro, but just to look at the return of investment, how much money do you have invested, and does it actually increase the number of tourists visiting to the place? I think that would be a small place for you to start from, actually. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Tina. Also, maybe I can add some information on how we can get the data. Actually, you may use like a data scraping from the Twitter tweets or the social media, data mining, yes, and using the big data analysis. Thank you, Dr. Tina. Okay, Professor Loh, I'm waiting for your closing statement, please.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you, Sylvie. Thank you, for this opportunity. I would like to say something about this. I think the whether how the developing country, can benefit from AI, because I believe that AI can help developing country improve from their public service delivery, healthcare system, education, and also the agricultural productivity, and also the financial inclusion. However, the successful of the AI also require the AI adoption require the digital infrastructure, and also the skill labor, the governance quality, and the data availability. So without the strong institutional quality, AI benefit may remain quite limited. So this is what I want to say.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Low, for the closing statement for this seminar sessions. So, guys, we can conclude that actually fintech AI is only the tools, and you, as the human, we can control the tools, and you are the human, so you may control your AI, your Shopee Pay, your GoPay, your Shopee Pay Later. So you may control everything, and to not to be scammed, and also you need to learn more and also consider many things before you doing the transactions, and also don't be hurry, and also don't follow your friends. Okay, so you need to be authentic, to be yourself. And then the second one is for the investment. Actually, put your investment for in some buckets, not only in gold or not only in saving, but you can divide your investment in others assets like a free risk assets or risk assets. So you need to learn on how to manage the investment and travel more and update your life more in social media regarding your travel. Is it correct? Okay. Thank you so much for the sessions. Give applause for our very great presenters, professors, and also our Dr. Tina. Thank you very much for your attentions, and you may contact them if you want to deliver other questions through the email. You may Googling in the Google. And thank you very much once again. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to our speaker and moderator, guest lecturer, and all participants for being part of today's event. You can come to your seat. We hope this session has been meaningful for everyone. I am Kintara as the master of ceremony, and I would like to express myself. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.